According to experts, 2019 was the year that veganism went mainstream. The growing demand for vegan food is driving restaurant chains to offer more meat and dairy-free options. Oat milk is becoming a staple in coffee shops. More and more celebrities are adopting veganism, and a quarter of Americans between the ages of 25 and 34 now identify as vegan or vegetarian. Here are 5 compelling reasons to consider making the shift to a vegan diet. 1. Why eat one animal and not the other? Have you ever wondered why we eat cows, pigs, chickens, and turkeys but not cats or dogs? North America is a nation of animal lovers, with 85 million U.S. households owning at least one pet, more than double the number from 30 years ago. However, Americans consume up to 220 pounds of red meat and poultry per person per year, according to the USDA. So why is it that we treat some animals as family members and others as mere sources of food? It turns out cows, pigs, and other farm animals are not all that different from our pets. Cows are social animals and love to interact, just like dogs. They enjoy physical contact, whether it's a neck scratch or a belly rub. Pigs are also quite similar to dogs. They are highly intelligent and can even learn tricks. Believe it or not, pigs can even play video games. And chickens? They form complex social structures and have 24 distinct vocalizations for communication. They are extremely intelligent birds and can recognize up to 100 human faces. These animals have the capacity to suffer just like humans. When dairy cows have their calves taken from them, they cry for days, expressing deep distress. Biologist Daniel Weary explains that calves also grieve when separated from their mothers, showing clear signs of sadness, such as loss of appetite. Neuroscientist and animal rights advocate Dr. Lori Marino states that farm animals are sentient beings with the ability to experience pain and have self-awareness. Pigs, for example, have a sense of their own identity within their social community. Farm animals are fully aware of what awaits them when they enter the slaughterhouse, and there is no humane or painless way to kill an animal that does not want to die. As Australian philanthropist Philip Wallen says, "When we suffer as equals. A dog is a pig, is a bear, is a boy." 2. Environmental impact. Eating animals is destroying the environment. As most cultures across the world have embraced a meat-eating lifestyle, the impact of meat consumption has become one of the biggest threats to our planet. Animal agriculture is responsible for deforestation, as forests are cleared to create pasture for animals and grow feed. Over the past 50 years, about 17% of the Amazon rainforest has been destroyed, largely due to cattle ranching. According to National Geographic, 80% of the world's animals live in forests, and deforestation has put species like orangutans and Sumatran tigers on the endangered list, displacing them from their natural habitats and threatening their future. Meat production is also impacting marine ecosystems. Animal waste and runoff from farms seep into our water supplies, contributing to algal blooms that create ocean dead zones, where oxygen is depleted from the water, killing marine life. The Gulf of Mexico's dead zone was first discovered in the 1950s, and by 1988 it spanned 15 square miles. Today, it covers up to 6,000 to 7,000 square miles, largely due to fertilizer runoff and animal waste. Animal agriculture is a major contributor to climate change, and it's endangering the planet for future generations. 3. Ending world hunger. Switching to a plant-based diet could help eliminate the suffering of millions of people struggling with hunger worldwide. If you care about others, it's important to consider how your food choices affect the global food system. On a planet that grows enough food for everyone, 1 billion people still go hungry, while another billion overconsume, putting their health at risk. A large amount of resources goes into producing meat. The soy and corn fed to animals before slaughter could be used to feed humans directly. The land used to grow these crops could be repurposed to grow nutrient-rich foods that people could consume directly, rather than passing it through an animal's body. The United Nations predicts that the global population will reach 9.8 billion by 2050, which will put further strain on our food systems. However, a study by Lancaster University researchers has found that we could feed this growing population if we make a radical shift to a plant-based diet. We already produce enough edible crops to feed 9.8 billion people. A plant-based diet is a sustainable solution to the food crisis, and it could help alleviate the suffering of tens of millions. 4. The harsh reality of animal agriculture. The animal agriculture industry is dirty business. It's not only cruel to animals, but also harmful to workers. In the United States, the industry employs around 700,000 workers, many of whom are migrant workers from Latin America who work under unsafe conditions without proper contracts. Many fall into this line of work out of necessity, struggling to support their families. The book The Chain by Ted Genoways discusses these issues at Hormel slaughterhouses, noting how migrant workers are treated only marginally better than the pigs they kill. The demands of the industry are high, with corporations prioritizing profits. Workers are often pressured to work faster to meet quotas, putting their health and safety at risk. Those who get injured are frequently harassed or ignored. Slaughterhouse conditions are dangerous and unsanitary, exposing workers to illness and disease. The violence that workers are forced to inflict on a daily basis can lead to psychological disorders such as PTSD. Animals suffer too. The slaughter process is quick, but procedures like stunning are often ineffective, meaning many animals are still conscious when they are slaughtered, enduring pain. Many farmers are second or third generation, inheriting the business from their families. For some, raising animals for food seems like the only viable career option. 5. The moral compass. Could you kill an animal for food? Animal rights activist Earthling Ed asks, how do we morally justify doing these things to animals? Are our taste buds more important than their lives? In a short film by the animal rights group Last Chance for Animals, this moral dilemma is brought to light. If you had to kill the animal that becomes the meat on your plate, could you do it? Face to face with a sentient being, most people would be unable to. Peter Singer, a bioethicist at Princeton University and author of Animal Liberation, argues that future generations will consider eating meat to be barbaric, just as we now look back on the Roman games where people cheered as lions slaughtered Christians, or gladiators fought to the death. Studies show that adopting a vegan diet can make people more compassionate in other areas of their lives as well. When shown footage of animals suffering, vegetarians and vegans show higher activation in the part of the brain that triggers empathy. If we were truly meant to eat animals, we wouldn't feel repulsed when we see animals being slaughtered. We would feel hunger. Conscious eating leads to greater compassion, not just for animals, but for all living beings. We realize that we are not more important than the animals and that we share this planet as equals.